So, again, for those of you just joining us, including Susan McCollister for the first time, $1,000 minimum to the overall winner in picks this year to their charity of choice. So, we start with UC. Yes. Casey and I had a feeling the Bulls would cover, thought UC would win. That number was too big. Brandon?
Not great.
At least they won. They almost did. Won.
And we had a great time at the Bash.
Yeah. That's right. And we're happy that UC won. So, wins right out of the gate. We all said Buckeyes would cover. 27 wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Ohio State rolls Michigan State. Winners across the board. All right, Kentucky. Brandon, you bounce back here.
The Gamecocks coming up big.
I wish I would have known for sure that the quarterback was not going to play.
Yeah. That was rough. But we did well the rest of the time, so yes, that's okay.
Okay. All right, so there we go. We're even so far today. We all picked the Bobcats, and they cover. Homecoming weekend.
It's finally a pick for me that won with the Bobcats. So.
Believe me, there are going to be a lot more coming. Coming.
All right.
Heard Ryan Day's leaving Ohio State to go
to Ohio U, yeah.
Okay, I picked Alabama. Again, I knew that Bryce Young was a game-time decision. I rolled the dice. You two guys went with A&M. Congratulations. By the way, I mentioned that for the first time in my life, I'm actually trying to engage a little bit on social media. My son jumped my ass last night about looking at Twitter a lot during the game, and I found myself saying, you know what, this is why I'm glad that I was never on it before, because I'm reading the stuff. Mm-hmm. It can really overwhelm you, and I got to get back to getting off of it. But it's good for the show, I think, and so we're doing it for that. But one of the things that popped up on the screen. Did you see the comment made by Johnny Manziel, former Texas A&M Heisman Trophy winning quarterback? Did you guys see that?
I did not, but we're looking it up right now.
Yeah, no, Tom and I almost just called you Tommy. Tom and I were talking about it earlier, and I saw it as well live because he was critiquing the A&M game. Here we go. And it's the play call on the 1 yard line, chance to win the game and beat Alabama. One of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life. You have one play to beat the number one team in the country, and that's what we run. Next tweet. Every single practice, you have a goal line period and practice these types of situations. That's a joke of an ending for the Aggies.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think when they threw that pass and they were at the 1 yard line, I don't think the receiver was actually in the end zone. Even if he would have caught it, I don't know if it would have been a touchdown.
I got to look at it again.
I don't know. But anyway, so it was a brutal call, Manziel. Johnny Manziel.
He had his coming out party was that Alabama game however many years ago.
That's right.
Where they beat him in College Station.
It's not gone well since.
No.
Okay. What else did we go with? Is that it in the college game?
No, we got a couple
we
more.
took the Volunteers, and Brandon went with his second favorite team.
Tigers.
40-13
It's such a hard balance between rooting for LSU and not rooting for Brian Kelly.
This one was not one of those times.
No, it was.
I mean, right from the get-go, LSU I think fumbled the opening kickoff.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, they did. They fumbled the opening kickoff, and it was all.
They didn't win.
Okay, TCU across the board. Horned Frogs 6.5. They win by 7. On they go against Oklahoma State, both undefeated this weekend in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to say about this game is Kansas actually put up a pretty good fight.
Yes, they did.
So keep a lookout for them maybe in the future. Are they a young team?
Yeah, I mean, they really played well. It was the first half, it was weird because TCU, I think, was the second highest scoring team in college football. Kansas was 9th or 10th. And the first half was like 10-3, and you're thinking, man, this is kind of boring. We had the whole family over at the house, daughters in town, whole deal. And then the second half, it was just back and forth, typical Big 12 game, very exciting, and good for both teams. Are we on to the pros now?
We are.
Oh, boy. Who won this one?
You did. Well, yeah. LA won the game, but it was 30-28. And we picked a 2.5 point spread. So even if we picked the the spread when it was finalized at 2, we would have lost to the push. So,
I luck into one there. Brownie should have won that game. Buffalo just massacres the men of aluminum.
Good choice by all of us.
Yep, good choice. Easy choice, quite frankly. That might have been one of the easiest games to pick all year long.
Yep.
We all lose here.
Yeah, that one was surprising.
Go Pack.
Fellas, we're going to get to the power rankings and the pros in a minute, but how much stock are you putting in the New York Football Giants? Their only loss is to Dallas.
Not much, honestly. The Packers are, like Roger said, they're not going to be able to win consistently with the way that they're playing. It's more of a statement about the Packers than it is the Giants to me. The Giants are significantly better, but I don't think that they can compete for like a championship. I think the Packers could eventually get it together and compete for a championship. They got enough talent. They just got to get it together. They're kind of like the Bengals in that way where there's just something off, and they can't seem to figure it out right now. I'm not worried about Rodgers. He'll be fine. The Giants, however, good job for this one win. You deserve it. Let's go on to the next one.
Sometimes it's the mojo, fellas. First-year coach. Remember the opening weekend? We called it the ballsiest coaching decision of the weekend on the road at Tennessee.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
They go for it on 4th down, go for the win. They get it. They have beaten Carolina. That's not saying a lot. Carolina firing its coach today. They lost by Dallas by a touchdown. They beat Chicago. Now they beat Green Bay. And look, coming off the kind of season they had, you look at their schedule, they've got to play Baltimore next. That's an interesting game. Baltimore at the Giants next weekend. That's this coming Sunday. They go to Jacksonville, who completely laid an egg. As we told you, you guys got all worked up about Jacksonville. Completely laid an egg.
That was mainly me. But
Yeah, I'm never going to believe in Jacksonville.
I apologize, Brandon.
Thank you.
Okay. What's next? Cowboys. All right. Now, what to make, Brandon, you take the L here. What to make of the Dallas Cowboys?
Cooper Rush, keep him in.
Yeah. I mean, that loss, when the Bengals took that loss week 2, it's not looking as bad as it was at the beginning. They're looking like a really good team. I mean, Cooper doesn't turn the ball over, and they play really good defense and have a good run game. So that's a good formula to win ball games.
I mean, you look at now Dak started the season opener, breaks his thumb. The offense, even with Dak Prescott, looked awful in that season opener in the loss to Tampa Bay. That was a home game. They beat the Bengals then with Cooper Rush taking over. They go to New York. They beat the Giants. They win by 2 touchdowns plus against the Commanders. And then they go to L.A. against the defending Super Bowl champions who have their problems, but they come away with a win. It's a big-time win. All right. Bengals across the board, we win only because they
covered.
You'd rather lose and them win.
Right.
Okay. Is that it?
That is it.
All right, so let's add them up, boys. Read them and weep. Oh, my.
Big jump.
Oh, my. All
Big
of a
jump.
sudden, look at Casey, 38-21. That is getting it done.
He needs to go to Vegas. Both of you went 9-3 this week. I went 7-5. Thom finally above 500.
I told you. I gave you the analogy last week. I won't repeat myself. But where the buffalo roam. A very famous Bill Murray movie.
You got
Not
it.
a very good one. But, okay. The race is on. A 5-game lead over Brandon for Casey. And he leads me by 6. I'm right on Brandon's heels for the second spot. 1 game back. Oh, my.
What a turnaround.
What a turnaround.